Hello and welcome to I don't know, the first regular episode of Carrots and Cookies, where my dear co-host Esutick on the other end of the screen, hi Esu,
Hello.
and me, Cheg, are welcoming our first guest, the content creator, to be more specific, Twitch content creator, Mr. MacAttack. Uh, I
Hello.
found hello. I found out about Mac some time ago through another fellow streamer. It was quite a few years ago actually, when I was there with the raid, and just like stayed there ever since. I am not going to talk much about MacAttack. I do feel like I'm part of his community for extended period of time. Esutick knows a thing or two about MacAttack, but here we can all like kind of in a way I don't want to say bond kind of, but find out more about Mr. Mac. One of
Yes.
my favorite streamers has been streaming for a long time. That's one thing that we kind of wanted to have here. It doesn't matter how big or small a channel is, regardless of which platform it is. But as long as you are committed to streaming and you have some experience and stories behind you, obviously, we want you on the show and want to share the experiences with you. So, without any more, rambling by me, um, unless Esso has anything else to say, I would allow Mac to introduce himself to us.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you both for having me. I appreciate the invitation. Yeah, so I'm MacAttack. I've been streaming on Twitch now for a little over 3 years, probably about 3.5 years actually at this point. And what what drove me to want to start streaming was I thought that I could fill a bit of a niche in the Twitch community where I'm not a very hardcore gamer. I love playing games. I've played games my whole life, but like I don't take it super seriously because I just don't have the time. Like I've got a family, I've got a full-time job or whatever else. So I can play here and there. So what else can I bring to the table? I love beer. I love brewing beer. I love trying new beers and experimenting and all of that. So I thought, well, why can't I mesh these two things that I'm really passionate about, and we'll take the craft beer community and we'll pick a game, which in my case is Elder Scrolls Online. So I became really passionate about that game and about that community. So take these two things that I love and I'm passionate about and combine them together in a stream. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, yeah, everybody loves beer. So certainly, there's tons of people in the Elder Scrolls Online community or just Twitch in general who love drinking beer. So then we can all just hang out a couple times a week, and we'll just all just drink beer together all the time. That
Also, Elder Scrolls
didn't
Online is in general like very like there's a lot of different beverages, alcoholic beverages. So it
right,
kind of is
yeah,
thematic in a way.
yeah, right.
Yes.
It's part of the lore. It's not uncommon for players or NPCs to have a little too much to drink. So certainly the players of the game are going to have too much to drink from time to time, or at least have a drink. So I'm thinking I'm going to get all of these people who are, casually drinking some beers or having something to drink are going to pop into my chat. That almost never happens. As
But you do
as
have
Chegg,
some connoisseurs there, but
well,
not
yeah, I
many.
guess there's
Yeah.
some. I guess there's some, but as Chegg can attest, most of the people who end up hanging out in my stream are not beer drinkers, which
Or not
fascinates me.
alcohol
At
at
all.
all.
Yeah.
Or at all, right,
Yeah.
at all, yeah, not even just beer, just don't drink at all, and it's fascinating to me. I don't know why everyone still shows up considering this was at least the thing in my head was, I'm gonna be this community where around beer, and, like, maybe we'll play games from time to time, and that's just not what has happened, so,
You still
uh
are though, and it's kind of funny. Esu, do you drink beer? I don't really know
Mm,
actually.
Depends on my mood. I'm not a beer connoisseur, but I'm more like a summer type beer drinker to like really have like a nice fresh cool down
Okay.
moment.
You might actually more like because me and Esu we're from Europe, as you
Mhm.
guys know if you watched the first episode. Mac, I know he's not hiding this. He's proud Pittsburgh Steeler fan from PA, from the States. And I figure out I've learned a lot with Mac. My father drinks beer. but I figured out that so I grew up with that kind of, but we drink very, very different. Like beer in Europe is there's basically two things that you drink. One is like dark beer, and the other one is light lager. I don't even know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. And then through Mac, I've learned that what they drink as beer, or you guys across the pond, it is actually completely different, much more exciting. Probably my father would be like, "This is not a beer," most of the
Right.
Europeans. But
Right.
but that actually is one of the things. Like you are very, I would say you're very educational when it comes to that. But you also have a really nice way of somehow explaining the taste of the beer you're drinking. And cans are usually absolutely amazing. You're very often drinking some how do you call that? If like home brewed, right? Or like
Oh,
smaller
like
breweries.
craft beer,
Craft beer.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Craft beer, yeah.
So if I know you're drinking a beer now. This was a request.
I
Like
am.
Mac asked
Yeah.
immediately, okay, I'm gonna join as your first guest, but can I drink beer on the
Right.
show? Which
I'm not going to do it unless I can have a beer. Yeah. So, yeah. So to your point, Chegg, you're right. A lot of European beers are um, not necessarily the same, but they're old styles of beer. So many countries in Europe have a brewing tradition that goes back hundreds of years, and in a lot of places, recipes haven't changed that much in hundreds of years. And in some places, especially Germany, there's actually laws in place. So the German beer purity law, called the Reinheitsgebot, is hundreds of years old, which determines what ingredients can be used and still be classified as legally beer. And that is still in place in Germany. It was written in like the 1500s, and it's still a law in Germany. So here in the States, we don't have anything like that. And so we are just kind of like blowing the doors off of everything that people would consider beer and throwing whatever sort of adjunct ingredients in to get some crazy flavors. So that's why uh, you oftentimes are like, that's not a beer. That whatever you're drinking,
He's
I don't
like
know what it is, but it's not real.
vanilla, carrot, cookies, a little bit of ship oil, like whatever. Yeah,
Yep.
it's my new beer. It's called.
Yeah, whatever we can find. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
got grass clippings in this beer, and then I don't know, people spit in this beer. I don't whatever we
Oh,
come up with. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Wow.
it's whatever we want to do here in the States. It's the Wild West of the beer brewing realm, I guess.
well, technically
So, but
Wild
yeah,
East in your case, but
Wild East,
yeah.
yeah, Wild East, yeah.
So
But
what are you drinking today, man? What are you
great
what are you joining
question.
us with?
Yeah, so the beer today is from a brewery called Allagash, which is in Maine, state here in the United States. So it's called Nocturna. I'll bring it a
Oh,
little
it's
bit
not a
closer.
can. Okay, okay.
No, this one's actually a bottle. So this is called Nocturna. It is a 9.5% ABV. ABV means alcohol by volume, so that's the alcohol content. So 9.5%. It's an imperial stout that was bourbon barrel aged with vanilla.
Mm.
See?
So it's going to be a darker beer. Yeah, a darker beer with
It's
vanilla added.
that actually sounds good to me, not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
I'm
And you
telling you,
said you drink cans more often? Did I hear that
Usually, at
correct?
least here in the U.S., a majority of craft brewers will can their beers instead of bottle them because it's cheaper to can.
Mm.
And a lot of these places are small companies who just don't have the overhead to purchase a lot of glass bottles. Allagash is one of the larger craft breweries here in the States, and they do mostly bottle. I think they've started canning actually, but traditionally they only bottled. So anyway, cheers.
cheers with
Cheers.
my
My tea.
not Nuka Cola,
Yeah,
but yeah.
whatever you're drinking.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. And really, you might get surprised with how crazy some of these beverages get. And you asked about the can, Esu. Usually, I will jump in, ask Mac what he's drinking. He has his routine like this one. Sometimes he goes even deeper to like explain the texture of the taste if the beer is like different than like what you would expect and whatnot. And then he shows a can, and usually my reaction is like, "Oh, that can is awesome," or like, "Ah, we had better cans," or something like that. It's kind of entertaining in a way. I don't know.
It is, and it's very informative. I can already
Yeah.
see what the joy in this is, and even not being a beer connoisseur myself, I'm just a little bit baffled by cans because a majority here would gag over beer from
Yeah,
cans
yeah, yeah.
because of the tinny flavor that gets from it. But I do have
Right.
to say, we do have some like cool art cans and stuff, so I can totally. But yeah, for me, it's very informative already. I'm like totally in for it.
Yeah.
So
And the
also the
beer is
way
great.
he explains
Yeah,
is
are
just
you a
so
teacher by by chance?
I am not, although I have teachers in my family, so maybe it's just in our genes.
It rubbed off for
Yeah, maybe
sure.
it just rubbed off. Yeah.
awesome, awesome. So while we are on the topic of beer, so I would say you have, in like in my opinion, you can obviously correct me if I'm wrong here. You have three kind of brands on Twitch that are surrounding your channel. One would definitely be beer tasting, and well, technically four. I just remembered another one. Then, as folks can see, one of your Twitch famous emotes, Noto Hero, that is flexing right there, and
Right.
you're playing Elder Scrolls Online. I remember now as well. And if we have time, like by the end, we might touch on that as well. You also are an amateur wood carver, I would say, or occasionally finger carver as well.
Mm, cool.
I try and do that a little bit less, but sometimes it does happen, yeah.
But yeah, so you managed to combine two things. There's some folks that are watching this podcast or listening might know, and all three of us know. There's an interesting figure in Elder Scrolls Online community um, called Matigon, who used to be long ago, who used to be a moderator in a couple of streams, and he did some kind of networking around, and then he started streaming, and he exploded basically on Twitch. And I know you guys talk about beer very often, and I remember that you actually made something. I was very surprised, and I actually never got to get to a point where I understand like how did it start and how it ended. So you basically made a beer themed by Matigon,
Yeah.
Khajiit,
Yeah, so
Snow
taking
Khajiit, or
if anybody knows Madigon, he's got a great personality, and he is a moderator in my channel, and I'm a moderator in his channel. And he's got he's got things that he are very on brand for him. So he loves the color orange. We know that. He drinks beer. He likes beer. He also likes pancakes and likes breakfast food.
true.
So I kind of, as a joke one day during my stream, I threw it out. If we were going to brew our own beer that would be Madigan inspired, what ingredients would we put in it? And the response was, it was pure Madigan. It was absolutely what Madigan would like. It's a dark beer, a stout. We were going to brew a breakfast stout. So a dark beer with orange, cinnamon, maple syrup, or maple. Yeah, I think we did maple syrup, and coffee because he loves to drink coffee. So we put all of those adjuncts in a beer. I brewed it at my house and bottled it up, and it was Madigan in a bottle.
Hmm.
It was
Awesome.
a lot of fun.
And
Yeah,
I
we
know
put
you
that together.
distributed some of this. If I remember, he got some. There's some other people that I know that I think had a taste. And what was the response? Did he like it? I guess that's the only thing
Well,
that matters.
actually, so it was kind of an interesting thing. So we bottled it, and then me and my family were in the process of moving at the time, and so I actually still have it. So it's now been aging for a while. So I haven't actually sent it to Medigon. I was
Oh,
aging it for him for a little bit. Yeah,
he
so
never
he hasn't
tasted
even
it.
tried it yet. So I was letting it age for a while, and then I'm gonna send it to him. So we'll see how it goes with the
Oh my
aging
god. Okay,
process.
so
So
that's
yeah,
why I
he hasn't
missed it.
even tried it.
Never
Yeah. Yeah,
happened.
he hasn't tried it, but I've had it, and then some of my friends have had it, and I thought it was a big success. I really enjoyed it, but I'm biased
Awesome.
because I made it. But yeah, I
Awesome.
thought it was a big success.
It sounds very interesting. I'm not sure about the coffee part, but all the other parts is like, yeah, I can see that totally be a
Oh
nice
yeah,
combination,
yeah,
but I'm really intrigued about the coffee
A
part.
lot of beers that
yeah,
Mac drinks actually have coffee in them as one
yeah.
of the ingredients.
Coffee is a really common adjunct for dark beers in particular because they already have a dark and roasty quality to them. So whenever you add coffee, it just kind of plays really well with the flavors that already exist in the beer. So a lot of American craft brewers will add coffee to the beers. Some
Before
more than others.
before all of our European listeners go away and say that this guy knows nothing about beer, I promise you he knows so much about European beer as well. We often have there's some people from my region, which is Balkans. We have some folks in Max Chat from Czech Republic, Slovakia, which is also very well known about their beer.
Mhm.
Essos region as well. You guys are known about beer. One of the most well known brands in the world, regardless of if you like it or not, is Heineken. And if I'm not wrong, that's Dutch beer, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
And whenever like it's kind of funny, Mac will know so many things about European beer, which surprises us all. And I usually get back at him with my knowledge about American sports, which
Yeah.
coming from Serbia is not very common. But we have that little back and forth.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's a great back and forth. I was blown away at your American sports knowledge.
Hmm.
I like NBA and NFL, and then I can watch some other things as well.
Yeah. Well, your knowledge of the NBA is greater than mine. I don't really watch the NBA, so
Maybe
you've
I'm
got
just
me
lying
beat
to
in
you,
that.
like
Oh,
just
or I would believe
oh
it
yeah,
because I don't
yeah,
know. You could say whatever you want.
yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. So that basically what we wanted to allow in the show is, I wonder if you're going to agree with this or not, because you have very open communication with your community. Not everyone does, but as streamers, you go through like very low lows and very high highs, and usually for most of us, it's very difficult to find a right moment in time to talk about lows, for example. Like usually you don't want to change the atmosphere in your stream. You don't want to bother your folks there because they come to chill, especially in your case and whatnot. And but there's a lot of things that are happening in the background for all of us streamers, that during the stream it's very difficult to talk about. But do you have any moment like in the past or now that was, I don't know, that you would like to mention that was one of the difficulties, of you like getting through the streaming until now,
Yeah.
basically?
Yeah, I think I struggle sometimes because I don't have a necessarily a set schedule. I mean, I try and stream on some of the same days, but life happens, and like I said earlier, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I've got a full-time job. Things just happen, life happens, and the stream has to take a back seat whenever that happens. And uh, there are times when I'm just too tired. If I usually stream on a Monday, so if a Monday night rolls around and I had a rough day at work, and then I get home and there's just a lot of work to do, or you know, there's always something to do here at the house, and I want to play with my son and spend time with him, and so then it gets time to stream, and I just don't have the energy, and that happens for multiple weeks at a time, and then before you know it, it's 2 or 3 weeks, and I haven't clicked the go live button. And so then I think, well, what's the point at this point? Should I keep it going, or I've got a lot going on? Should I call it a day? It was a good run, and that was fun. But if the next time I click it again, who's gonna watch? I've been gone for so long, and so I've gone through that thought process 2 or 3 times since I started streaming. So 3.5 years, and I've gone through that thought process a couple of times already. So that's my challenge.
Yeah, I
Is
know
is
recently you moved as well. I think that was one of the
right.
long breaks, right?
Yeah, took a long break because we moved, and then as a lot of people do. So we get into our new house, and so we just have a lot of projects that fill up all of our time. And again, so then by the time the evening rolls around, I'm just worn out and I don't have it in me. And as both of you know, Isu and Chegg, I mean, streaming is it's tough. It's hard. I mean, it's if you think about it, and so I've got a background in television, so it's a little bit unique of a background because I know what it takes to be on air constantly. And it's a little bit different, at least in public television here in the United States. You have commercial breaks. So, at least every 4 or 5 minutes, you're going to have a commercial break where
Hmm.
you can get a drink of water, you can run to the bathroom, and you can take your time. When you're streaming, you can take a break, but that's on you. So pretty much you are live, you are on for however long, multiple hours. And if you've never done that before, you have no idea how exhausting that can be
No.
and how tiring that can be, right? If you're
Yeah.
constantly on, you're constantly talking, you're constantly entertaining and interacting with chat, it's certainly playing a game. There's your mind is looking at a lot of different things and you have to be focused on a lot of different things. And if you especially if you want to play the game well, which I don't. So it's a little bit easier for me. I give myself that leeway.
He's in the
I'm
game,
not.
but
Oh
not
yeah,
really
I'm
playing.
I'm logged into the game. Whether I'm playing it or not is a different story. But I'm in the game, so I consider it playing. But there are some who stream end game content, and that in Elder Scrolls Online and other games as well. I mean, it's really difficult content that requires your full attention, and you're also streaming and you're interacting with chat. Um, so I try and pair that with low level gameplay and the beer thing, so I
Yeah.
can at least talk about that. But it's tiring, and so there are some days when it gets time when I would normally stream, and I just think, do I have the energy to be on camera and talk and be energetic and lively and want
Mm.
to interact in a way that my community deserves? Or should I just take the night off and rest?
Okay, but taking a knife off, have you ever thought about like quitting streaming after an extended period of time of not going live, or is that what I'm picking up? Because I'm actually surprised. I've been watching you since basically you started streaming, I think, or like
Pretty early on.
very close to that date, yeah.
Yeah.
And I always had this idea of you having your stream as a hobby, kind of,
Hmm.
because you have full-time job, you guys also have a kid, and like it's more, it feels more like your, I don't know, your literally hobby outlet. I don't even know,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
I never crossed my mind. Actually, this is something that I'm learning now, that you have gone through these issues. I mean, they're common, but
Right.
have you ever also, when you were talking about that, like, I also think it's not only a break for having a drink, or for bio break or whatever, but you constantly feel and judge yourself, at least me, about if you are entertaining enough for folks who are spending the time with you. And I think that's very, very taxing. I don't know if you guys agree, but
Oh
very
yeah,
taxing.
100%. 100%. And I think it's very good that you're like realizing, or at least reflecting to yourself, to say, okay, am I going to have enough energy to give my community and the entertainment that they deserve? Because, and I totally I'm guilty of this as myself. I see a lot of content creators and I've experienced doing this myself. I also sometimes just not have that energy at all, and I'm completely exhausted, and I'm not thinking about, am I going to be entertaining enough for my community? I'm going live because I feel like if I'm not going live, people are going to forget about me.
Mm,
And then in return, I'm not delivering my best content to people and they're going to stay away. And it's creating this spiral effect
it is.
of a self fulfilling prophecy.
It's
Yeah.
such pressure that we have upon ourselves. And again, what Max started this with is, like, not many people think about it when they watch your streams, right?
Oh
So
no.
it's one of those
Hmm.
hardships that comes with it. Wow,
Yeah.
man, I am actually surprised to hear that. So yeah, you did not answer my question. Is was that
Oh.
ever
Okay.
an idea? Hmm?
Um, of just completely quitting altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think there was. There was one time in the last 3.5 years where I thought I should just hang it up. I should be done. I haven't streamed in, I think it was probably three or 4 weeks at that point, and I thought, well, I'm just gonna have to start from scratch. I'm gonna have to build up my community again, and do I want to do that? Probably not. And so I thought, well, I'll just be totally done. But whenever I stream, that's typically when I'm just playing games anyway. So like that's the time that I have to play games. So I'm thinking I might, if I'm already here playing a game, I should probably just stream it. So I clicked the go live button. Lo and behold, everyone in my community came back. They were all there. We had a great time. And I thought, oh, well, that was fun. And and everyone remembered me and everyone came and we all hung out and everything is fine. It was just me being in my own head, thinking I'm
Mm,
lost and forgotten now. Nobody cares about MacAttack, and that just wasn't the case. The people who wanted to be in my stream were there, and it's been that way ever
absolutely.
since. So that's when I thought, okay, well, why would I stop? Everything that I thought would happen didn't happen. In fact, the opposite happened. So I'm just gonna keep it going.
And you still got nice time off for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. And I
Nonetheless,
and
you
I do
didn't
think
pressure yourself into going live just to not be forgotten.
exactly. And I do think that if you have a community like I have, or like Chegg has, and I'm assuming Isu like you have,
Same. Yeah.
if you need to take the time, as long as you are in communication and tell people that. So I had posted something on Twitter and in Discord saying, "Hey everyone, I just need some time, and maybe I'll be back, maybe I won't." And everyone was universally like, "Great, just take all the time you need. We'll be here." I think people understand that. If you just
Mm.
disappear off the face of the earth, then your community feels a little slighted. They feel like, well, what the hell? We deserve to know. We deserve to know why you're not on, at the very least. Even if you tell us that you just need some time mentally, or you just aren't feeling it right now, and you need to get
People
inspired
get
again.
worried,
I
man.
think people
Yep.
get worried. But
Yeah.
if you are just upfront and honest, and you have a supportive community like we all have,
Yes.
then you can just let them know, "Hey, I just need a week or 2 weeks or however long. I'll be back, but I just need some time." And for us and for me, I'm really blessed that everyone said, "Okay, great. Just whenever you feel like streaming again, we'll be there." And they were.
And they were. I, I just wanted to point out how all of us are going through what you went through for sure. I have my own struggles. Maybe just a little bit different because I live kind of lonely ish life nowadays. So there's no one to like share these things with when I'm not live. Um, but I know Asu also had to stop. We talked about that a little bit in the first episode and whatnot. And all three of us, we all have what is called core community, right? So
Yeah.
there's a couple of people, which is every streamer's greatest fear. Like you turn on the stream and there's no one there, Uh, and it's been an hour and there's no one there. Like, and to be honest, I like couple of years into streaming, I streamed a game that I never streamed before and in completely off hours. Like completely like I woke up like super early and I turned on the stream. There was no one for 20 minutes and I turned off the stream and I deleted the VOD. And I was like, what am I doing? And this made me really think until my next regular stream, like, holy, like, what's happening? Why is it a problem with Twitch? You keep pressuring yourself with these things. And we do have a community, right? There is always behind us.
Yeah.
Imagine if you are still building a community. And obviously all of us went through that as well, as probably many people who are listening to this. But yeah, eventually, if you have what it takes, kind of, and if you're like entertaining enough for whatever reason, and there's many reasons, once you get to that point where you have 3, 4, 5, 10 people or more, doesn't matter. Mac is right. As long as you're not like stressing your community with just disappearing or whatnot, yeah, they will be back. Your core will be back. However, if you are full time streaming, that's a problem. People are literally pushing themselves to stream. It's called a grind for a reason. Because if you don't, you are absolutely bleeding money. 100%, and that's additional pressure there.
Right, and so I come at this with I have a bit of a luxury because my income I don't rely on streaming for my main source of income. So I have the luxury of being able to take some time off and not worry about what my financial situation is going to be like. So I understand that, and I know
I
that
think
not
that makes
everybody has
everything
that
super
case.
different. And so
Yeah.
you've
Absolutely.
been on both ends of this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
for
haven't.
sure. It
I've been
really
full
it
time
really
streaming
makes a
since.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, soon I should be on that side as well, where streaming for me is more of like, well, at that point, probably more like just giving back to my community at that, because it's been an awesome journey for me, full time streaming, ups and downs and all that. But like, I am yet to experience what two of you are either experiencing or used to, or
Yeah.
I hope I like it, when it happens. we'll see how that goes.
It comes
Yeah.
with its own challenges for sure, which definitely comes down to like your energy. Do I feel like it? The grind combined, and what you wanna accomplish with your stream as well, I guess. Because if you're really going down to it, like I'm gonna do this every Friday night, just as a chill, because I'm playing my games anyway, and I want to hang with my friends and have a beer, and anyone who comes in is amazing. It's a complete different mindset as what I had for a while, where it's like I want to become big, but I also have to work full time, so it's gonna be like of a double grind. I kind of really don't have the energy to go live, but I should go live, because if I'm not going live, then I am going to miss opportunities. It all comes down to your expectations and your goals.
I kind of feel like when you have a job that sustains you and your stream is a hobby, I almost feel like, I don't know, but I almost feel like, and you guys can explain this, but I almost feel like it's more easier to say, is it worth it? And just not stream, or not
Yeah,
stream for extended period of time, because I mean, in the end, you don't have to. Like, you're doing it for fun, right? Hey,
exactly.
Khaleesi.
Hello, there she is.
We have
What
a
are the
second
kitty's
guest.
thoughts? Yeah.
I'll
Oh,
be
her
pet
thoughts
free
are,
for a
she's a
moment.
fluff, a
Yeah.
fluffy bruiser. Awesome.
That's
If you
great.
want to see Khaleesi more, guys, by the way, and if you want to feed Khaleesi as well, you
Yeah,
can
my
do that
stream is
by,
all about this beauty, not about
yeah,
me.
she's the main protagonist of Twitch TV /Esutick. You can actually, well, this is a nice tangent. You can actually redeem points on Isu's channel to feed Khaleesi, for example, and you can see it. She's begging for the treats and whatnot, and she's very entertaining. And on
She's doing everything
MacAttack's
she
channel,
can.
yeah, and
Doing
on
everything she
MacAttack's
can to get fed.
channel, you can redeem something called No-Toe Hero. And again, I would say that's the third like brand of yours that surrounds your channel heavily.
Hmm.
And we can see even your main emote. I would say, well, technically,
Yeah.
probably your most used emote is Cheers, I would guess, because it's all
Yeah,
about beer.
probably. Yeah, probably. But this is the greatest emote on Twitch.
No, it's hard
The
to
no-toe.
argue with that.
The no-toe.
No-Toe Hero for me is a special emote because it does not bring a story with it. It brings plethora of stories with it. So I'm just gonna let you explain why No-Toe Hero, and then you can tell us about the point redemption on stream.
I've been
Yeah.
very, very intrigued as soon as I saw the toe
It's
Oh,
emote.
yeah.
crazy. You see
To
you see a
hear
toe with
about
like
that.
flexing, like what the hell is this
Right.
guy all
My
What
about?
is this? Yeah.
My
What have
first
I got?
assumption is you have no toes.
See, you're onto it. You're onto it. Yeah. So first and foremost, I will say, I don't know if you can see that. I'm drinking out of a No-Toe Brewco glass.
Feels good, man.
Yeah. So this little piggy went to the pub is the tagline for this. But anyway, so yes, Isu's correct. I have toes. I only have 9 of them though.
Okay.
So I've lost one. The big toe on my left foot is no longer with me. And
F for the toe.
it was F's in chat for the toe. But it was so it was kind of a harrowing tale, and so if you redeem the points in my channel, if you watch long enough and you earn the points, then you can redeem. And I will tell you the story of how I lost the toe and how it became known as the no toe hero, because I didn't just lose the toe. It was actually a very heroic action. I mean, the toe saved lives.
True
And
story. Yeah, I
so
usually find in the
that's why it's
papers
the
in
hero.
Serbia people talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was global news at
Yeah.
the time. Yeah. So that's basically the origins of the Noto hero. We thought, well, how do we properly commemorate this thing that has it means so much to so many people, and it certainly is worthy of the hero status. So what do we do? I mean, the least we can do is make an emote on Twitch, right? I mean, let's come on, we can do that. So
I'm looking at Asu's face and I'm like, what does she think now? What is this guy talking about? Is there actually a story? And actually, dude, okay, I'm gonna ask you two things. You don't obviously you can do this any way you want, but I wonder if we can put you on the spot and get the story out of you. But also,
oh, sure.
I also want to know if what is there I don't remember if I've ever heard the OG actual story of how you've lost it. You don't have to talk about this if you don't want to, obviously, but I actually don't know. I know many stories about Noto Hero. I don't know if I
And
know
they're all
the
true.
real one. They're all true.
They're
Yeah,
all true. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
So the real actual story of how I lost the toe is much less heroic.
Okay, yeah.
Meantime, I'm in belly rubbing mode, so sorry if I look away sometimes.
All right. I mean,
Yeah. So I can tell you the heroic version.
let me
Let's
hear.
go for it.
Let me hear another one.
Certainly.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it started as any normal day would, right? So I was out and about in the big city with my family, and we were going to see. So my kiddo, he's a big fan of dinosaurs. He's in the dinosaur phase right now. So we were going to it was a they were like animatronic dinosaurs, and it was you kind of learned about them and everything else. So we were going to take him to this. We thought he would really enjoy it. So we're walking through the exhibits, and we're seeing all these animatronic dinosaurs. Well, unbeknownst to all of us, it turns out that it was actually like an open casting call for Jurassic Park, and they had a real life dinosaur at this thing, but they like didn't tell anybody. But they also didn't have the proper security measures in place. Go
Just like in
figure.
every movie. Yeah.
Just like in every, yeah. So it figures. So anyway, so this dinosaur breaks loose of its cage, real life, real actual dinosaur, and it's chasing everybody around this place, and everyone's running wild, and the dinosaur's just eating everybody it can find, and it's really kind of terrifying. And so I was trying to save my family, but also myself and everyone around me. And so this dinosaur, I think he was probably a T-Rex. I'm not a dinosaur
Okay.
expert. I'm assuming he was a T-Rex. So anyway, he's chasing us, and so I'm running, and I'm like picking up people as we go, and I'm like throwing them on my shoulders, and so I'm kind of running around. I've got my family on one arm, and then like 3 or 4 other families on this arm, and we're running out of the building trying to get away from this dinosaur. And so I trip and I fall, but I threw everyone out the door, so they were all
The
safe,
safety.
right, so they were all happy and safe. So then I was the last one there, and this dino, he comes down to eat me. And at that moment, I had the wherewithal to push my foot up into his mouth, and I knocked loose like one of his teeth, one of his big old teeth, right? And so it knocked loose and shot back into his throat, and then he chomped on my toe. But in the process, this tooth that I had dislodged then like shot into his jugular from the inside. So then he starts hemorrhaging internally, and he ended up passing away. There was nothing they could do to save the dinosaur, not that anybody wanted to, but so he passed away. But ultimately, I ended up losing my toe, which was a shame. And it was kind of an ordeal. There was a lot of people who ended up being injured or trampled or whatever else. But I rescued several folks, and so for that, they put my name in the paper, and it certainly made its way
Yeah,
to the news
I
in
think I read
Serbia.
about this. Yeah, in the
Yeah,
papers.
yeah,
Yeah.
you would have made it. Yeah, there was at least one Belgrade newspaper that reported on it. I know,
Yeah.
and yeah. So ultimately, that was the story, and so from then on, it just became known as the Noto hero who saved all of these
God knows how
families
many
and,
lives.
and little
Yeah, yeah.
children. Yeah, right. How many lives? Who knows?
I mean, technically, a small price to pay, even though for
Yeah.
you, I'm sure you miss your toe, but yeah,
Well, certainly, but just the knowledge that I was able to rescue so many people is comfort
worth it.
enough.
Mm.
Yeah, totally worth it. And now they're gonna make a Jurassic Park movie anyway, so whatever. I'm not I'm not bitter, but at least we get the story. And then if you want to hear another retelling of this, you can go to my Twitch channel and you can redeem the points, and I can tell the story again. But
So this is what is crazy about it. Like if you have enough points, and it's not that many points, guys. Like if you watch Mac for a couple of days, you have enough.
which shame on me, I should probably make that more points.
Yeah.
we get story like this probably like once a stream, and you just put him on the spot, and he just comes up with like he always mixes up with something that is happening in real life and whatnot. Very relatable, and
Do you come up with this at the fly? Did you just like rip this out
Yeah.
of somewhere?
Yeah, typically it's just whatever comes to mind. Yeah.
God, your son must love you. He must love bedtime stories.
Yeah.
Screw the books. I want your.
Yeah. I just make up stories for him. Yeah.
I
That is super awesome.
I'm very kind of disappointed in MacAttack, by the way, for being super lazy and not turning these awesome Noto hero stories, which we've heard hundreds of by now, on YouTube. As like you can just clip it, not clip it, but you have to do like what's the name, highlight of
You
your
can
stream.
highlight
Yeah,
it
you
in
can
Yeah.
make the
Twitch.
highlight of the
It
VOD.
would be
Yeah.
awesome, but a lot of them are lost. Only in our memory we still have them, and some of them are outstanding. So this will
That's
be
the
the
allure of
first
it. They're
ever.
elusive.
This will be the first ever Noto hero story on YouTube, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, we got a
Am I
prime
right?
here.
Let's go.
Yeah.
This is true. Yep, that's true. Yep, this one will live
Ah,
forever.
That's really
honestly,
amazing.
I suggest, apart from like the knowledge about beer that you can get there, and Noto hero story every now and then, some other silly things like Mac talking with his mouth numb, which I don't know how he does, but he does. It's also one of the redeemables. But like super chill atmosphere, man. Like I really, if I'm usually you stream at times that are not great for me because it's like 3 a.m. or something in Europe. But if I end up in your streams, it's just like super, super chill, relaxed thing. You're really not playing the games. like literally, he's been playing Elder Scrolls Online forever. I think you have more knowledge about Elder Scrolls Online from other streamers than your own gameplay. Am I wrong?
No, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know anything about the game because I haven't done it, but I've watched other people do it.
Have
Yeah.
you ever considered branching out to like other categories or
Yeah. Yeah, I do every once in a while I'll change it up if I'm just not feeling ESO or I want to take a break. So actually Cheg was along for this ride. I really really wanted to play Assassin's Creed Valhalla when it came out,
mm,
but my GPU couldn't handle it.
mm,
So there was a whole process, and many people were involved with getting me the right power cable that I needed so that I could get a new GPU, get it hooked up so that I
awesome.
could play
It was
Assassin's
not
Creed
awesome.
Valhalla.
It took like 6 months. He got the GPU. Okay, he got the
Yeah,
GPU, but it came without a cable that you connect. Some of them have
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
additional
yeah,
power
I
cable. Yeah.
know. Yeah.
And then he ordered another one, and then that one never showed up. Then he ordered another one, I think, that was not working or whatever. Then
yeah, didn't
Delicia
work.
found one at her place, and she was like, "I want to send it," but apparently cat or something made that cable disappear, so that didn't happen.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
And then people started streaming Valhalla, and whenever there's someone playing Valhalla, we would like invite Mac to watch and tell him how good it is and make a joke about it.
yeah,
Like it took for and then he moved. Oh my god.
yeah.
Then he
So
moved.
this
Then
is
he
this
was
is
on
what my community
assembling.
does.
Oh
My
my
community doesn't
god.
love me. They don't really enjoy me. My community loves to just just rub salt in the wound.
Oh, I guess
Like,
that's for everyone. I feel like
yeah.
part of our our entertainment we bring is just the fact that we let people bully us live on stream.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we bully him in other streams as well. But he
Yeah,
also
that's
bullies
also true.
us. Like, I would not watch anyone else play Valhalla but MacAttack. And I was ready for that. I know this might sound crazy. This is not a Noto hero story. And it's kind of funny because there's a neat community there. We were all talking about this in other streams, how, oh, can't wait for Mac to start streaming this, because most of us are streaming some other games or whatnot. I would never play Valhalla because I have an issue with Assassin's Creed games, but I want to watch it, right? And Mac takes his time, and we can talk about it. It's kind of silly. Then I had to watch someone else play it because it took how long? It took like more than 6 months, I think. It was crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the game had been out for at least 9 months before I actually started to play it.
And he bought it on time, like he was
Yeah,
ready.
I bought it. I bought it the day it released. Yep.
That's what a sad story.
Yeah,
You
but
should
it's a great game.
incorporate your Noto hero into that somehow.
Ooh,
There's
I didn't
probably
do
already
that.
been. I feel like I've missed a lot. But so you have your stories and you have your beer knowledge. You've got your teacher skills, obviously, because your family rubbed off on you. Have you considered trying categories like just chatting?
I not not fully, although I've done a couple of just chatting streams, but I don't do them normally. But I think I probably should, because there are some times when maybe I don't want to play a game, but I want to hang out with all of my friends.
Like every
And
time?
it could bring in a different community.
Please.
I'm not sure if like just chatting is a great category. It can also bring very interesting, but
Well, that's true.
to
Yeah.
like explore.
I'll
Yeah.
say
Go ahead.
just chatting. I used to hide there. So this is just chatting, right? So I often stream GeoGuessr because I've traveled the world just because of the nature of my job, and I love recognizing places and whatnot. But at the same time, if you stream GeoGuessr in GeoGuessr category, it's a backseat fest. Like, I have to ban 10 people a day, or Delicia does, or Mac. It doesn't matter. But then what I used to do, I would go and stream that in just chatting, because I know no one in the world will find me there. So that's the problem. I kind of wish Twitch had better ways of like suggesting people, especially those who don't have like 100,000 viewers. You know what I mean? Because if
Yeah.
Mac goes, what is your? We're all around the same average now, not like some crazy numbers, right?
Right. I average like 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, very strong community. You get nice hosts and whatnot, but that we all know
Oh,
that
yeah.
disperses and whatnot. So so getting new people, which would be, I like your idea, Esu, because he's perfect for just chatting.
Yeah,
He's
I would like.
absolutely perfect.
I would say you're amazing for
How
just
would you
chatting.
find him though?
I mean, yeah, that's the harder part. I do just chatting once a week to kind of just like recap with my. I'm not really necessarily doing it for reaching new people, but I do notice it's a nice benefit to it. I've gotten people in my chat that I should ask them how they found me. I don't know, but
That's
I've gotten
interesting.
people in my chat that became part of my community that came in there through just chatting.
Oh wow.
They
Okay.
didn't care about the game I was playing. They were just caring apparently about what I had to say. I don't know who would
You
want
sure you're
that,
not
but
in a hot tub?
Yeah. Yeah. Was it a hot tub stream? Right.
shh, we didn't talk about that on here. Remember?
Oh god, sorry about that. My bad.
But no, but
Yeah.
if I'm like, and I'm just catching up, like whatever I've been doing on my free days, which is not a lot because I don't go outside much, But you have your beer, you have your stories. I would definitely try it out once in a while. Like, there's no loss in trying, and your
Well,
community will be there anyway.
Right. My community would be there regardless. You're right. Yeah.
oh yeah.
I should do that, because especially there are.
Wait a minute. Wait. Just a moment. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
Because I'll be brutally honest here, And I don't think people are, I don't want to like say people are wrong for doing this or there's no expectations or anything, but there's almost like an unwritten rule that, because you have your core community of a couple of us being there regardless, right? But I like how I put myself in there, like, but then also you also have people from Elder Scrolls Online who will come to your streams. They are there, they come there, and we all three of us stream Elder Scrolls Online. There's an unwritten rule that Elder Scrolls Online viewership is brutal when it comes to more than any other game. I think when it comes to streaming different games, like, so it, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. On the other hand, what you are doing and what I saw other people doing, and I tried it as well myself, is like starting streaming just chatting, you know, for like an hour and then switching to your category, or ending streaming just chatting to like relax.
Yeah.
I've been doing something even, well, you can still get some people as you're saying, as so for lately when I don't feel like being exposed to Twitch shenanigans, I lately stream without a category, which well, there's literally zero benefit there for like growing your channel, obviously. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's true. Sometimes you just need to not be, you know, kind of obligated by whatever directory we're in. And I think you would be a great just chatting streamer for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I will have to try just chatting. And to your point, Chegg, I've seen more and more streamers doing that, either starting or ending in just chatting. Either, they start with just chatting to get people there, and they kind of wait for, like you said, a half an hour or an hour, and then their core community shows up. Okay, now we're going to switch over and we're going to play a game, or something like that.
Would
Yeah,
you
because
agree?
who knows? Like, if you have things like beer and stuff in your title, uh, people are scrolling through just chatting. I do that myself quite often as well, and just looking at like the thumbnail. How does that look like? Do I see something interesting there, or the title? What are they going on about? Is there something there that pulls me on? Which I do feel like you have a bit of a broader correct connection there than having a specific person coming to Elder Scrolls Online who then is like, "Oh, hey, this guy also likes beer." I mean, it's cool nonetheless. I'm not trying to like sound negative or anything, but I just feel that in the just chatting category, there are more often people just browsing and more willing to jump in your channel than when you're in a game category where people are a little bit more bound to their niches that have they've already been in and don't really like exploring. Because I noticed that with myself. When I go just chatting or when I am looking for streamers, it's easier in just chatting than when it's a game. I don't know why, but
Well,
I think it's because you already maybe have the satisfaction from the amount of streamers you're following. You're already getting out of what you're following
Yeah.
from that game.
also
No, I think you're
usually
absolutely right.
it's like undivided attention that the streamer gives to a chat, unless you have like thousands of people in a chat, right? But
Yeah.
and Mac,
Yeah.
you like you have conversations with us all the time. It's not like you are like, of course there's streams where like the new expansion comes out or you try a dungeon, or you know, and then you're a little bit focus face, so and then we talk about like mechanics and whatnot. And
Yeah.
on top of that, you're not a stranger to Elder Scrolls in general. You're streaming Elder Scrolls Online, but you also are hugely into other Elder Scrolls games. You've streamed
Mhm.
Skyrim and whatnot multiple times. Um, so yeah, but I do agree with Desu. Like you are definitely someone who, I think most of us just, you're wondering about the beer. Like some of us don't even drink. You're just a
Mhm.
really, not only like, it's not only great personality, I guess, to listen to, but also your reactions to the chat are great. You always go back, read everything, laugh about it, give a comment. Very, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
not all of us do that the same way, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I think whenever I started streaming, I was naive to how Twitch worked and how directories are important.
Aren't we all?
And yeah, aren't we all? But so that was again going back to what I said originally. So my thought was, well, let's combine the two things that I'm passionate about, which at the time was specifically Elder Scrolls Online community and beer. So let's bring those things together. But Issa, you hit the nail on the head. People who are scrolling through the Elder Scrolls Online directory are not looking for beer talk. They're looking for an Elder Scrolls Online streamer who's playing the game.
And there's
which
the occasional person that does like the beer and goes, "Hey, that's
hmm
cool."
yeah,
Um,
but
but I recognize the same.
hmm
I
90% of the
like,
time,
yeah.
some new viewer will pop in my stream and say, "Hey," and they'll introduce themselves, and I'll introduce myself. "Hey, I'm MacAttack. I stream Elder Scrolls Online, and I drink and review craft beer while I do it." And 90% of the time, their response is, "Oh, well, I don't drink, but you seem cool, and I'll hang out here." I
Yeah,
said,
or
"Oh,
they
we've got
yeah,
another one. We've got another one
yeah.
who doesn't drink, but welcome. You can hang out with everybody
Yeah,
else here who doesn't drink."
it works.
Oh, it's so
And it
Yeah.
could also be
entertaining.
fun for that dynamic. Because what if someone actually comes into your chat and goes like, "Wow, you're a beer connoisseur. I'm a beer brewer, or whatever." Or
hmm
you don't know.
Yeah,
Can
and
keep
that
it
that
fun
has
and
happened.
challenging.
That has happened a couple of times. But what excites me the most is when somebody comes in and says, "Well, I drink occasionally, but I don't really know much." And then I can make suggestions, educated suggestions, and then they actually go and try it.
Mm,
And
You're
then
also good with
they'll
remembering this and asking people about
Mhm.
how they like this. I know
Yeah,
you ask certain people all the time, and how was that
right.
beer? And then you have
Oh,
Yep.
that's
the
a
whole
really
conversation.
good skill to
And
have
then
It's
to
really good. Yeah.
remember.
they'll give me feedback. And
Mm.
and so going back to our conversation earlier about Madigan, that was a great example. So Madigan liked beer, didn't know how to articulate it, and maybe didn't know what to ask for when he went to buy beer. He said, "Mac, I like these flavors. I like these things. What should I look for?" And I said, "Well, you might like this beer, and I know where you live you can get it." Okay, so he goes to his local bottle shop and asks for that beer. They have it. He buys it. "Mac, this was great. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for the recommendation. Like
Awesome.
now this is one of my new favorite beers." It's
And it's
like,
so
Super cool.
rewarding, right? As a content
yeah,
creator
it's so
to have that
rewarding. That's
feedback to
the
get.
that's the reason I started streaming, was to get people to appreciate something that I loved, which is beer. So
Awesome.
yeah, that makes me feel great.
Are you guys using tags on Twitch?
I play around with it a little bit,
Yeah,
but I have kind of sort of come close to my section of tags that I guess sort of work the best for me. I want to say,
I'm surprised how I started using some recently, and one of them is depression. And
is there a beer tag?
I would often,
I don't
you
think
can,
there is a beer
well, you
tag.
can,
Oh,
you can make any tag actually.
You can make one?
Yeah, I had F1 for a while. There's no F1.
Hmm.
I'm surprised by how many people actually came to my stream. They were like, "Why do you have depression tag?" And because I'm usually, when I'm streaming, I'm cheerful or yelling at someone playing ships or whatever. But then they just came in, right? They don't know the reality, the backstory, how I actually am. What, as we know, like our core group of people, they know all of it. And I'm surprised how many people, like, last couple of months, would come to me and be like, I'm sure some of you maybe even seen it, like, why do you have this? And I wonder, if you don't have beer tag, I think you should definitely have that, like, regardless of what you do. I don't know if it helps. I would probably also have beer in my stream titles. I don't know if you do. Shit, I don't even know your stream titles.
My
I
stream
think he
titles,
has. I looked,
Yeah.
I
I
usually
believe.
put the name of the beer that I'm drinking that day in the
Okay.
titles. So
Mm.
I usually put the word brewery in it at some point, at least, if not just
You
straight
should
beer.
definitely look at tags. I think it's a good. I think it's a good. I noticed that the other day people came into my chat and they rated me and they were like, "Yeah, yeah, I wanted to rate you because from the people I was looking through, you were the one that had EU server and
Mm,
LGBTQ and a bit smaller streamer." So they really targeted me for the tags. I can be
true, true.
really, it's really definitely, and that's what I'm saying. I'm playing around with it, so sometimes I'll use. I always have my LGBTQ one, and I always have my pansexuality and my casual playthrough because that's like the three things that
These make people
three.
feel safe. They know,
Mm.
like, they can.
They
Yeah, yeah.
know
These are
what,
very
yeah,
important. Yeah.
that's my thing with streaming. They know I'm a casual player, they know I'm an ally, and they know I'm under the flag. So they
Mm,
know what kind of space they're coming in. And then I play around with the remaining two. We're a little limited. Come on, Twitch.
yeah.
Sometimes I
Well.
really don't like that they changed the language one because I really
Mm,
liked that I can put my stream in English, but also say I'm also Dutch. But now I have to say Netherlands. I'm from the Netherlands community. No, my community isn't from the Netherlands. I
true.
speak Dutch. What if I live in another country? That doesn't mean that I
Exactly.
What if I
Look at my
speak German? What
example.
if I speak German, but I'm not
Exactly. Yeah.
German? I want to have the language text. Anyways, I play around with them to kind of like see what works and what kind of it brings in people for sure. It definitely does.
I figured out like exactly what you're saying. Like you play the game, obviously that's in common for whoever comes in because they came through the game, and then your tags are more of like what other things might be interesting to you as a potential, future
You
community
can do
member or whatnot.
crazy things. You can like do I'm spiritual, I am religious,
There's a lot. There's a lot. Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
politician,
You
or
can do I'm
whatever.
drunk.
Yeah, you can.
I've never been drunk on stream.
You have. This is so
I have.
not true.
I
Once
have.
I've seen it once, and it
At
was
least
it
once,
was
yeah, at least
awesome.
once. I I
It was
kept getting
awesome.
egged on by
We're not
everyone.
encouraging drunk
Yeah,
behavior here, but
that's
it
Well,
was
right.
he was
awesome.
tipsy. He was not like it was.
It
It
was
was just
a
he was just
it
different.
was a Friday night. It was a Friday night, and I had nothing going on. And I finished my first beer relatively early, and everyone said, "Hey, you should just crack open another one." And I thought, "Yeah,
And
okay,
it
I could
went
do
on.
that." And then I finished that one, and they said, "How about a third?" And by that point, I was like, "Yeah, let's get 3."
I remember
That's
I
Yeah,
stayed
awesome.
so late for that stream. It was so long ago, like 2 years ago or something.
it
I don't
was a
even know,
long,
but it
yeah, it
was
was a
so
long
good.
time ago.
It
Yeah,
was really good time. That stream was awesome because you were not drunk. Like I'm not
yeah,
really. I'm not judging. I live in Serbia. Like obviously, I have some friends who consume alcohol or other things. It's fine, but I don't think I would stay in the stream. I do have a problem when people get like overly drunk, and some streamer used to do it for whatever as goals and whatnot. Drunk streams and whatnot. But no, you were you were tipsy enough to be different because like all three of us are not streaming like different personalities on stream. We are streaming ourselves, but we still stream. We're always in a kind of same
I was gonna
mindset,
say,
and right.
you're
hmm,
very reserved, and I
Yeah,
think I don't like drunk on stream, but when you're tipsy, you're just
it's just
releasing the filter a little bit
it
and
was
the
refreshing in a
reservedness.
way.
yeah.
You
That was
just
exactly it. Yeah, I had
because I
lost a
know
little
I've
bit
been
of my
there.
innocence. Yeah,
It was great. It was great. He didn't do anything stupid. It was just like,
yeah,
yeah, it was funny. It was great. He was
yeah,
laughing more, that's for sure.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. It was. I got a little goofy, but that was.
Mac.
I see. I
Awesome.
don't actually drink. I don't actually drink to get drunk. That's the thing. That's
True,
the
true.
That's
like.
good.
Whenever
Nobody
I tell
should do that.
people, right? Don't ever do that. It doesn't. It
Don't
doesn't
do
feel good.
that. Just enjoy
So
the drink.
whenever I tell people that I enjoy craft beer and I review craft beer, they immediately think the negative, like, "Oh, you just get drunk." No, I
No.
appreciate the flavors and the artistry that goes into crafting a different beer that I've never had before. So that's what I love. And
If
so
I haven't
that
seen you stream and talk about every beer whenever I'm down, like the way, the passion you do it, I wouldn't think that that's possible, honestly. Because here people drink to get drunk most of the time, or get like in a different mood, let's say, but
oh
not
yeah.
really because of the taste of the beer. Usually you drink the same beer because you like that one beer, and
Hmm.
or like a couple of them, but it's not like you are literally exploring the beer possibilities, and like it's yeah, 100% true.
Yeah.
Definitely crazy experience for me.
Yeah. No, you're right. And it's a similar culture here in the States. I mean, a lot of people drink to get drunk for the mind altering effects that it brings.
Exactly, yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's, people have been doing that throughout human
Of
history.
course, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I think especially with the craft beer boom that's happening here in the United States, that's now spread, it's happening all over the world. There's so much that's being brewed that has never been tried before in human history. So like I could be drinking something that has never been made before, may never be made again, but it's kind of a unique
The
experience.
freedom,
So,
yeah, of anyone being. And also, well, we're not going to talk about that because we're basically at the end. But I'm sure you would talk about it on your streams. Is where
mhm,
how um, the ease of actually getting into brewing nowadays, and then with that, how many new flavors you can get, and also people can make mistakes and just do it again, which was not a thing some time ago, right? So the last couple of
right.
years. you just have this opportunity to actually get creative with brewing beer, which you talk about these things every now and then. Amongst the other
Right.
things, you brewed some beers, so which are very creative, as we've heard.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Mech, I mean, I've had a blast.
I have enjoyed myself thoroughly. You stream very late, but I do hope I catch you live one day because I really want to experience this now. So I want to thank you for that. I
Yeah.
would say keep doing whatever you're doing because you're obviously having a lot of fun in it. And your community, your core community, is enjoying it as well. And I
True,
hope to see you grow that core community even bigger. But if not, then that's fine as well. Just keep doing what you're doing
true.
with that joy that you're showing here for sure.
Passion
You've
and
Yeah.
joy, like
convinced
you can
me.
see
That's
that
at
in
least
Mac. That's
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. No, thank you both very much. It was a pleasure being here, and to be your first guest.
Yes.
I mean, that's an honor. So
Yes.
thank you.
There was a very good
Yes.
reason we talked about this behind the scenes, and I know you. I know how easy it is for you to get into something like that and talk to you and all that. And it was important for both of us for our first episode with a guest to have someone that we can be very chill with, and it worked out.
Yeah.
You just, if I'm not wrong, obviously, guys, all the links in the description below. You all should follow MacAttack, check his streams. Uh, if I'm not wrong, um, there's Twitch TV / MacAttack76, but also you're gonna give me a link. There's a project that you're on. I don't know if that's still a thing that is on paid service where it's all about beer. Actually, you wanna like briefly just
It
mention
is.
that?
Sure. Yeah, I can mention that. So, um, uh, uh, I have a lot of hobbies, and so one of my other hobbies is obviously brewing. But then I'm a big history nerd. I'm a big history guy. So I started a new. It's an online a web show that I host. I do everything for it. So I do all the research behind it. I host. I record all of the video. I edit it
Production,
all.
all yeah.
Yeah, I do everything for it, but it's about historical brewing, more specifically 18th and early 19th century brewing practices, at least here in the United States.
Hmm.
And so those videos are hosted on a platform called Townsend's Plus, and the show is called The Bygone Brewer. So I've done several episodes so far. The first episode was kind of looking at the differences between home brewing equipment now as opposed to home brewing equipment in the 18th century. The second episode was I actually brewed a batch of what's called small beer,
Awesome.
and then my other episode that should be releasing here in the next week or two, I made a historical mash rake. I just like walked into the woods and got some sticks and things like that, and then I made this mash rake, which is what someone would have done back in the day. So,
Are
yeah,
these
it's
pay
a
per view or subscription based? I know it's behind a
yeah,
paywall.
it is behind a paywall. It's a subscription based platform, so it's I want to say it's $10 a month to subscribe. But you don't get just my videos. They have a
Hmm.
plethora of other
Kind
videos,
of like
and they're all.
curiosity and yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a little bit like the curiosity. They're much more day in the life of a person living in the U.S. in the 18th century. So they have cooking shows, and they've got other crafting sorts of shows and things, and then my show, The Bygone Brewer. So it's been a unique project aside from
I know
the
you're
Twitch
proud of
stuff.
this one. I remember when you're starting, that
Mhm.
was awesome. Mac is also on Twitter, very active. He also taps every beer there that he drinks, which is very interesting, even for us who don't drink. Same handle, if I'm not wrong, MacAttack76. All the links, am I right? I think I'm right.
Yeah, at Pixels and Pints, at
Oh,
Pixels_Pints
there we
is where
go.
you can find me on Twitter. But yeah, the name is MacAttack76. But if you're
Yeah.
gonna at me, it's at Pixels_Pints.
All the links down below. There we go. Yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
nice.
Awesome merch. One more time, thank you, Meg, for joining us. Esu, do you have anything to add?
No, this was mind blowing, very entertaining. I want to thank you for being here. Well, I ended up saying some things.
True, true.
Thank you both very much for having me. It was an honor to be your first guest.
Thank you for being here, and thank you,
Awesome.
Esu, for the second successful episode of our podcast. And see you guys next time with a new guest that We are not going to tell you who it is yet. Take care. Bye.
Bye.